Hi there. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this wonderful discussion about co-housing. So I'm here to talk today about a really interesting perspective, which is aging in the right place and the Australian perspective. So listening and hearing about what the community have said around what aging in the right place means. My name's Amelia McCabe. I'm at the Global Centre for Modern Aging, and thank you for letting me join in here today. So my role at the Global Centre for Modern Aging is as a psychologist and a user researcher. So I'm really interested in understanding how people engage with their environments around them so we can look at how to create environments that support health and well-being. Aging in the right place, what is it that the experts say and how do they describe it? So they talk about it means people living in their residence of choice for as long as they are able to as they age. So this is one definition of what aging in the right place means, but it's not very descriptive and it doesn't give us much to go on when we're designing these beautiful co-housing environments or co-designing these beautiful housing environments. So what we wanted to understand more was, what does it really mean and look like for people in Australia as they're aging? What does aging in the right place mean? So what we did was we ran a survey and we asked 1,056 Australians, what does it mean to you? And so we've got a little bit of a breakdown here of who we spoke to and where they are. So obviously we've got a big East Coast representation. We've got those 55 to 64s as our large age group, up to 75 and overs. And we had a pretty good split between men and women, and a pretty good split between metro and regional as well. So what did they say when we asked them about this concept, aging in the right place? How do they describe it? And I've got one quote here which sums it up really nicely. It's a place where I am comfortable, safe, and stress-free. A place where I will continue to age independently and to grow culturally and in experience. A place where I want to be. This is a really beautiful quote because it wraps up so many of the concepts that we found through this survey. So let's go through each of those and break them down a little bit. One of the things that you might have picked up from that quote is that aging is more than just a house or a home. We found this really beautiful evolution of house to home to a haven. And so the house is a very practical kind of component. It's where I put my belongings. It's where I sleep at night, where I lay my head. When you think of, your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's those very basic, bottom line, fundamental components. That's a house. Then we move to a home. Now, a home is a more independent, warm environment where we have feelings of safety, comfort, love, and happiness. As it says here, a home brings freedom, choice, independence, emotional safety, familiarity, and individuality, a place of friends, family, and kinship. That's our home. And then we move to a haven. And the words that people described or used to describe their home came out really strongly as this haven concept. It's the highest order of meaning, a sanctuary, entwined with self and complete belonging, familiarity transcending material value. People develop a seemingly irreplaceable sense of place. So this came out through the survey as, it's my castle, it's my palace, it's my safe haven, a sanctuary, it's my everything. So what does it look like? We can create a house, we have bricks, we have wood. We can create a home when we have that little extra element of love and belonging. But how do we create a haven? And particularly for the co-housing communities that we're creating, how do we shift to this haven space? We have a few key themes that come together. So there are 7 key themes that we identified in this survey that create a haven. They are choice, safety, comfort, access, independence, connection, and happiness. Now, these are the ingredients. What we found through this research that we did was these are the ingredients. They're not prescriptive in any way, but when you have the right measures of each of these coming together, then we can start looking at that home to haven transition, rather than just focusing on trying to create a space that takes us out of that house to home space, we can start transcending and really evolving. What does choice look like? Choice is really important. It's that sense of who we are and how we make decisions. And this doesn't change over time. Everyone wants to have decisions in what color, what shape, what style. How do I entertain? How do I have people visit? What access do I want to my home? So these are all really important conversations. Having choice is really important. No, obviously sometimes there's too much choice and that can put us in a little bit of strife also. But having those one or two, maybe three options of those choices that we can make. And when people spoke about choice in the survey, they spoke about being free to choose where I live. Being free to choose where I live. So not somewhere that someone else has spoken about or chosen for me, but where I want to live. That's really important. That doesn't change. Our sense of independence and a sense of self doesn't change over time. Safety. So again, coming to those basic needs. If we don't have a place where we feel safe, we can't achieve those higher order thoughts and feelings and connectedness. So being safe and secure. The safety on that physical and emotional level. So for some people, they spoke about a house being in a safe area and being in a place that is secure and has all the facilities that you need. So again, safety means different things to different people, but it's really important that we have that sense of security around us. And it might be knowing our neighbours. That might be a sense of safety. Safety to other people might be a really high fence. It's what's important to us and how that looks like. Again, these are the ingredients that can create a really wonderful home, or actually a haven. So comfort is all about being comfortable. So being comfortable in my home and surroundings and with the people around me. So this is more than just safety. Again, people spoke about being comfortable and having everything you need in one place, and where we are familiar with our environment, residents, and community. So you can see how these two relate really nicely to one another between the safety and the comfort. Access. So there are a couple of key things that we found through the survey that people are really keen to have easy and reliable access to. So those two being really important. It was transport, health, shopping, medical facilities, community, social activities, housing and hospital services. When we don't have easy and convenient access to these things, that makes it harder in the environments that we're working with. Some of the people spoke about growing older in an area means that I can still go shopping, travel easily to places I want to visit, the beach, the gym, the pool, the city, parks and gardens. So it's both about our home as to the space around us, but also how that's situated in our community. We talk about having appropriate facilities around you, as well as a community that helps and supports you, and to be near shops so that I can be independent and you have everything that you can when you need it. And this is a really nice segue over to our independence. So to have autonomy in our daily lives in a supportive environment where help is accessible and on our terms. So people describe this as living in a place where you're happy and confident that you can either be independent or receive the help that you need. And knowing I am able to care for myself and not rely on other people to help me. So again, the sense of independence ties in with this choice. I want choice and independence to be safe and comfortable and to have access. The access gives me independence. You can see how these will start to weave a really interesting story together, and that connectedness. So what we heard coming through the survey was people don't want to be disconnected and isolated from their family. And obviously we're in a really interesting time now where we have a lot of connectivity through websites and the web that enables us to have that remote and digital accessibility and connection. But it's not always enough. And that can be really hard and difficult for people when there isn't that sense of connection. So people describe this as having somewhere where I can grow old with my wife and friends around me, and knowledge that if we need help, there is always someone to call on. Having support, family and friends close by, or just somewhere where I can have social interaction. So as human beings, each of us has this need for connectivity, whether we're introverted or extroverted, we're all humans. So we need to have that sense of participation. But again, on our terms, so we can choose whether we participate or not. We have the choice and happiness. So to be happy wherever I am, to be content, satisfied, and enjoying life. So people describe this as living your life as best and freely as possible and enjoying life to the best of your abilities. So these 7 needs all combine to help us move and shift through being from a house to a home to a haven. What does this all mean? So we were really interested, before we did this survey, we were really interested in understanding, what does aging in the right place mean for people in the community in Australia, and what does it look like? And for us, we've come to this great understanding now, given these insights that we've received through this feedback, of it's about, ultimately, if we can, creating a haven. So a haven being somewhere where we have choice and control, we have connectivity and comfort, and we are happy in this space. These are not prescriptive. We haven't given any specifications around what this looks like. It's up to the community, it's up to all of us to talk together and integrate this into new designs and new opportunities that are coming through. So it's a really interesting conversation, and one that we're very happy to be part of. And at the end of the day, hopefully it means that we can be creating really wonderful spaces that we can all flourish and enjoy for years and years to come. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this wonderful conversation. That's just a little snippet into some of the research that we've done, aging in the right place. We've also done lots of other conversations around this topic as well. And there's lots of other really wonderful resources out there. So please connect in with us, ask us any questions. We're hanging around for the Q&A now as well. And we've done some wonderful research also on COVID and telehealth, which is really interesting. Again, as I spoke to the connectivity earlier about how that's really important, looking at this digital connectivity and how can we create a home that provides safety and comfort and security during times of crisis or a pandemic. So that's really interesting also. So again, thank you for your time. My name's Amelia McCabe, and I look forward to talking to you soon on the Q&A.